You can't snap?
Nothing.
That's kind of embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie.
It is what it is. There's better qualities to have. Anyway, welcome back to the Lightforce podcast, episode number 12. I'm keeping that whole snapping bit in.
You need to. Noah can't snap.
I don't know. Nothing comes out, dude.
So if we ever do like slam poetry, you're not gonna be able to give me snaps for
I'll
it.
do a light.
Okay.
Like a light, what do they call it? Like a little golf clap? That's what I'll do.
I don't know. I don't
That's
watch
what
that.
I'll do. Anyway, guys, I don't watch it either. Anyway, guys, as I said, welcome back to episode 12 of the Lightforce podcast. We are here yet again. I'm doing great today. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I have kind of a busy day, but that's a good thing. That's always a good thing. You know, I don't do that much of anything nowadays, but it's a great thing when it's a busy day. I'm so excited about today's episode. I feel like we haven't had a fully Star Wars centered episode. So I'm very excited, and I know a lot of our listeners will be excited about this episode.
Oh, yeah. A lot to talk about today. We already had the Empire magazine, which is about 2 weeks old at this point, but we promised we were going to talk about it. And it's
so bad we need to talk about it, yeah.
Exactly. It's a load of crap, so we're going to talk about it today. It was the list that they put out like 2 weeks ago, the top 50 Star Wars characters of all time. Relax. And then there's also all of this Ben Solo movie news that has been breaking the internet over the last couple of days. And for the first time in years, this is the most united I've seen the Star Wars fandom in years. It's pretty
so
cool.
True.
I'm not saying there isn't some toxic trolls out there, because there always is, but people on both sides of the spectrum are all in, like, yo, where is this movie? Why did it happen? So we're gonna get all into it, but before we do that, make sure you go follow the Lightforce podcast on Instagram, on TikTok, on Threads. If you're watching here on YouTube, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And if you're listening over on Apple and Spotify, I don't know why I couldn't think of that for a second.
Good job.
On Apple and Spotify,
that's a lot.
Be sure to leave us a rating on there as well.
And one more thing, there's this new feature for all of you people that are watching us on YouTube on your mobile device right now. There's a new feature where you can send hype points to our channel in this video. It's only a feature on mobile. So if you're watching on your TV, computer, go ahead and watch on your phone. Send us some hype points, because apparently it really helps the algorithm. We would really appreciate that.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. YouTube's been kind of, I don't know, YouTube kind of fell off the last couple of weeks with the shorts, and I'm kind of pissed off about it. But another conversation for another time, guys. Where do you want to start today? Should we start with the Ben Solo stuff?
I think we should start with our fit check.
Yeah, well, I'm wearing the same thing that I wore, like, I think a couple episodes ago, this Clone Wars shirt.
But my shirt is really cool. This is my Star Wars Rebels shirt from Imperial Merch Co. It just keeps going down. We've got all kinds. We got Hera and Kanan. We have Thrawn. I have Ahsoka and Maul and Ezra and Chopper and Sabine and Zeb. This is like one of the coolest shirts ever. It's awesome. I'm a Star Wars Rebels girl. You guys know that. But it's from Imperial Merch Co. They have a lot of really sick designs. And that's all she said.
That's fire. It's fire. I don't know why I'm laughing. And we got this Lightforce podcast hat, by the way, which 2026 merch store will be out by then. Promise. Swear. Anyway.
Snaps.
Anyway, I can't snap. I'm sorry. Where do you want to start?
I think we should just do the Ben Solo movie stuff first.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, what was it? Let's rewind a couple of days here. It was Monday night, I believe. Randomly, news breaks on Twitter, and actually, I don't even know who originally broke the news, who Adam Driver was talked to, what outlet, what interview, but a lot of big outlets and media companies have picked it up at this point. Variety's talked about it, all this stuff. Adam Driver got interviewed. I assume he asked if he would be willing to play Kylo Ren or Ben Solo again, if he'd want to return to Star Wars. And Adam Driver just said, screw all, and revealed that himself and Steven Soderbergh, which I'm really not super familiar with because I just don't know names, but both of those guys spent 2 years developing a standalone Kylo Ren movie called The Hunt for Ben Solo. Evidently, it was going to be placed after The Rise of Skywalker, which obviously makes sense. They said the script was done, and Adam Driver said, and I quote, "one of the coolest fucking scripts I have ever been a part of." We presented it. We presented the script, to Lucasfilm, which includes Dave Filoni, I believe Carrie Beck as well, Kathleen Kennedy, which we're going to talk about, and they loved the idea. It was Adam Driver who recalled. They totally understood our angle and why we were doing it. They took the idea to Bob Iger and somebody else who's, I guess, Bob Iger's right-hand man in Disney, whatever, and they ultimately said no because they didn't understand why or how Ben Solo was even alive.
Just like how most of us didn't understand why or how Palpatine was freaking alive by the end of Rise of Skywalker, but apparently that didn't matter. It didn't matter that they didn't have a single cohesive plot going in the sequel trilogy, but all of a sudden, we don't understand how Ben Solo would be alive at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, which his death didn't really make that much of any sense. And it was kind of a pointless death. And now we're starting to use logical and critical thinking after we've already come out with a trilogy that bombed in such a way that it divided the Star Wars community like no other. Just so bad. Nothing has divided the community as much as the sequels trilogy. But after this news came out, like you said earlier, it has set the fandom ablaze online.
Yeah.
Everyone that I've seen is up in arms about how we did not get this movie. This movie, I swear, it could have honestly saved the sequel trilogy a little bit, I feel like, if we got this movie. And it is so painful to hear Adam Driver's direct quotes about this script in this movie and how cool he thought it was and how they spent all this time developing it. And he sounded so passionate about it, talking about the script and the movie and the idea. And hearing that Dave Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy loved it, everyone at Lucasfilm loved it, just for it to get to one or two guys at Disney and to get shot down. And now that's something that we might not ever get now. I would say we're probably not going to get it because it's not Mr. Iger is still in charge at Disney. And I don't think he really cares about how much the fandom wants this movie. And we're now however many years removed from the Rise of Skywalker, But Adam Driver did say that he loved playing that character. He said that he was very passionate about playing that character. He loved playing him. And so it's not like he wouldn't come back to do it, but I don't think we'll ever get this movie. And that's the most painful part about it.
I don't know, man. There's a lot to unpack here with Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy and even Adam Driver, dude. Like Kylo Ren. A lot of people are saying he's the most interesting character in the sequels. I will argue that. To me, it should have been Finn, but because they mishandled Finn, it ended up being Kylo. And Kylo had a great story because you actually got to see him fall down a couple times. And then whether I was infatuated with his ending or not, he at least had, a nice arc. Kylo Ren, Ben Solo. Ultimately a great character. Listen, I'm pretty sure I've said before in the podcast. If not, I know I've said it at least to you personally and in my own videos in the past. I like Force Awakens. I could turn that movie on any day of the week. Yeah. I can put it on as background noise. I can enjoy it. If that movie didn't come out, I don't know how much more I would have gotten into the Star Wars fandom than I was already. Saw the first 6 movies, watched some of the Clone Wars, but Star Wars was always in my house growing up, but never was a die-hard fan. Force Awakens coming out was the whole reason I got back into Star Wars and gave everything, I don't want to say a chance again, but just gave me a reason to watch. And I loved it. And now here we are 10 years later. Literally the other day, coincidentally enough, this news came out on Monday. And I believe it was Sunday or maybe it was Saturday. It was the 10-year anniversary of the first Force Awakens trailer that dropped. And everybody was talking about their memories and how excited they were about Star Wars at the times. And listen, you can be the most hardcore Star Wars fan in the world. But I don't think anyone is going to deny, I don't think anybody is going to deny the feeling around Star Wars 2025 is much different than it is in 2015 for a number of reasons. So we get this news this week. There's so much to unpack. Will we get this movie eventually? I think maybe we could, but a couple of things are going to happen for it to even happen.
Yeah.
People have talked about Bob Iger might be retiring in a few years anyway, but even that, it's like, maybe we'll see. And a lot of people have brung up that Adam Driver, somebody who's usually pretty close to the vest, pretty reserved, pretty quiet, doesn't really reveal stuff like this in interviews. He probably might have had some kind of motive or was kind of really ticked off for one reason or another.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are bringing up that he might be pulling a Ryan Reynolds Deadpool. Which, if you guys don't know, years ago, well, who did the Deadpool movies? It was Fox or whatever.
Yeah.
Originally, I think said no. They had some test footage. Ryan Reynolds basically leaked it himself on Twitter to get the response and to have the fans rally and to show the studio like, hey, people want this, let's make it. And then eventually it worked out. And even though I don't know if he's ever publicly said like, yeah, I leaked this footage that I had, everyone put two and two together and everybody knows what happened. So a lot of people think that may be Adam Driver's play here in a sense. Give
No,
the
I
people
definitely
enough
think that.
to get them excited and literally be on the nose with some of the information. Like, this was not vague information. He's saying names, he's saying scripts, he's saying titles. He might have purposely put this out there to say, screw it, let me see if I can throw a stick in this fire and see what happens.
Get them to rally behind me for this movie. Yeah, definitely. And you know what? I 100% think that is why he did this, because I don't believe that he is only just now able to talk about this movie. I think that this is something that he came up with a couple years ago. I mean, I don't remember the exact year that Rise of Skywalker came out. I think
2019.
It was like 2019? Okay.
Yeah.
There's no way that he's only just now able to talk about this movie, right? So he has been holding on to this for probably a couple years now. And all of a sudden, he's like, you know what? Let me just see how people feel about this. No, I 100% think that he's saying this to get us to rally behind it, because he knows, he has to know that, I mean, all of the actors from the sequel trilogy know that it wasn't good, but they know that it could have been good. You know, a lot of them have in the beginning expressed how they did not want to come back to it. I think because a lot of their characters were mishandled.
Yeah.
And now, not only is Adam Driver saying he would return to Star Wars, so is Oscar Isaac, so is John Boyega. Daisy Ridley has already been confirmed that she is returning in some kind of post-sequel trilogy way.
Story.
Right, so it's kind of a given. But now we've got Adam Driver, Oscar Isaac, and John Boyega say that they're more than willing to return to their characters. And here we have Adam Driver. Let me go ahead and release this information and see what I can get from the fandom to rally behind this script, and maybe that will be enough to push Bob Iger to maybe revisit this as a movie. And I think that there is no better time for this to happen, because in my mind, when Adam Driver originally came up with this plot, obviously John Boyega and Oscar Isaac and Daisy Ridley don't necessarily have to be involved in this movie. I think it'd be a really weird if Daisy Ridley at least was not involved in this movie. You know, when they came up with the script, I am going to assume that she had to be involved in it. I feel like at the time when he pitched the movie, all of those actors would have been like, I don't know if I want to do this, you know, because of how bad the sequel trilogy turned out. I feel like they might not be open to return. But now we're so many years removed from that time, they're all a lot more willing to return to these characters. And here we have Adam Driver letting us know that he has this amazing script, that he's calling it the coolest friggin' script he's ever been a part of. And all we need is to get Bob Iger to say yes, because Lucasfilm has already said yes to it.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, with this whole with the whole movie thing, like, again, we've talked about already, the fandom has been extremely united online, and this might have been all by design by Adam Driver. I was telling you about this before we started recording. I wanted to fact check something real quick, because somebody on Twitter had posted that the Star Wars YouTube channel uploaded Rey and Kylo Ren versus Palpatine and like a official clip from the end of Rise of Skywalker, which coincidentally they only posted that 2 hours ago, which seems like a pretty odd choice to post of all weeks this week. And then somebody said that they hadn't posted anything about the sequel trilogy in what they said was years. I didn't scroll back years on the Star Wars YouTube channel. I did scroll back to the end of 2025, or the beginning of 2025, excuse me. And that's literally the first sequel trilogy clip that they posted in quite some time. So it does not surprise me if this was a collaborated effort between Lucasfilm and Adam Driver to show Bob Iger and whoever else, like, hey man, Star Wars kind of needs some help.
Yeah.
This might help.
Yeah, and it's not that people didn't like these characters. Obviously, some people associate those movies with the characters being bad, as if that's any fault of the characters or the actors, which is a whole other rabbit trail that we don't need to go down. There are some fans that feel that way, but I feel like the majority of the fandom wanted these characters to succeed and wanted these movies to succeed, and are very welcome to the idea of returning to these characters and giving them the justice that they deserve. I think it would be amazing if we had a movie called The Hunt for Ben Solo, where I mean, obviously, I have no idea what the plot would be other than the title of the movie being The Hunt for Ben Solo. But I think you could absolutely bring back John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, and Oscar Isaac to a movie like this. 100%. I think that would be so cool. There's no reason why they would turn that down. As far as we know, after The Mandalorian and Grogu come out, the only Star Wars movie they have on their slate is Starfighter, starring Ryan Gosling, which we're hoping is going to be a really good movie. But Disney has never been one, sorry, Lucasfilm and Disney, Star Wars as a whole, has never been one to shy away from revisiting old characters. Never. They
Mm-hmm.
have never been shy from that. Or even Star Wars, especially, has never had a problem with bringing back characters that have died. Never. So it's shocking to me that Bob Iger is like, Darth Maul got cut in half and came
Yeah,
back
well,
to
I mean,
life.
listen, we could sit
It
here and
is
talk about all
shocking
the
to me that he would say
revivals
that.
and all the
Yeah.
people who went through disaster. We just
Mm-hmm.
watched 2 years ago Sabine get stabbed with a lightsaber, and then she was fine the next episode.
Yep,
She was in a
exactly.
hospital or whatever. But
Which is a
like,
problem in itself. But
exactly.
I feel like surviving a lightsaber attack is way less likely to happen. Obviously, it happens all the time, and that's a problem. That is way less likely to happen than Ben Solo just obviously giving part of his light force and giving it back to and giving it back to Rey to help her survive and save her life is something
Which, by
that
the
you could
way, Rey
easily
was
say
dead,
he could
and she
survive.
survived.
Right. You could easily say that one can't survive without the other, and boom, he's out there somewhere. So I don't
I
understand
I
why
don't
that
know,
was
man.
something
Like,
that he was so against. I don't understand that.
I can't help but think there has to be more reasoning why they said no. And it could be BS reasoning that even if we knew the reasoning, we'd still be like, that doesn't make sense. But that can't be the only reason that was given.
Yeah.
Like, nobody,
And
you can tell me they sat there at that desk in that pitch meeting or whatever, and they were like, yeah, all sounds great, but how is he alive? Not gonna work.
right,
There
yeah,
had to
no,
be more than
because
that.
and because they had to the script that they work on for 2 years, they had to have given them a reason why he was alive. They
Exactly.
obviously gave him a reason. So I'm not saying that Adam Driver is lying. I mean, I'm sure that was part
No.
of the reason, but there's got to be more than that, whether it was voiced by Bob Iger or not. I feel like maybe it was because the sequel characters weren't bringing in the cash in his mind. They weren't going to be the thing that was going to bring in the money. They were like, we got to pivot to something else because at the time it had failed kind of spectacularly. So maybe that's why. And maybe Adam Driver just needed him to see at this point the fans want these characters to come back. The ill will is kind of gone, and we'd like to see these characters done well.
Yeah, I have nothing against any of like those top 4 players that we've already talked about. It's just
Mm-hmm.
those last 2 movies that I'm not a fan of. But again,
Mm-hmm.
as I stated, I'm a fan of The Force Awakens. I like these characters, and I'm not opposed to seeing any of them on my screen
We
again. We just
love
talked
these
about
characters.
yeah, we
Love
just
them.
talked about a couple of episodes ago. Like, man, Oscar Isaac could really fit into this Starfighter movie if they wanted to. It's probably too late for that, or maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But if there was ever a reason to get him back, I'm all for it. We've talked about recently if there could be a redemption for Finn's character in some way, shape, or form. I'm all for it. So if there can be more to be explored with Ben Solo, who really didn't even have to die to begin with,
Right.
like this is such an easy write around the Rise of Skywalker, but that's not here nor there. Whatever, he died, and then here comes the story saying, "Oh, actually, he's alive." Cool, let's do it, because at this point, nothing's gonna save those 2 movies for me. There's not gonna be new content that makes me go back and watch those and be like, you know what, they were actually onto something, because we all know they weren't. Like, that's just the reality.
They weren't.
But
They had no idea what they were onto.
exactly, but that doesn't
No
mean you
idea.
can't build after. Like the sequel trilogy, I'm pretty sure in the Star Wars timeline is literally an entire year. Like that's it, like all 3 movies. So you can't tell me you can't at least make more stories after with these same characters that can at least be good for them. Nothing's gonna save those 2 movies, but I'm like I don't know, I'm down, and I really
Yeah.
hope that they threw out this little pebble into the river, and they made a big enough ripple, and hopefully, even if it's years from now, well, it can't be that years from now. Adam Driver, I don't know how old he is, but he's not going to be playing a Ben Solo, I'm sure, when he's, Harrison Ford age. But point is, hopefully,
They
we
jump
get
on
this
this.
movie eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually.
And I always reference this as I always reference this, but when the prequel trilogy came out, there was a lot of discourse around those. A lot. a lot of people did not like the prequel trilogy when they came out. Only within recent years were they recalled as and, favored. And now us that have grown up with the prequel trilogy, we love it. But what I'm trying to say is the prequel trilogy, as divisive as it was at the time, what really, really took the characters from the prequel trilogy and built them up and made them so beloved in a time when they weren't beloved? The
Mm-hmm.
Clone Wars. That was a project that was taken straight from the prequel trilogy and built this entire world where so many of us recall the Clone Wars as one of the greatest things that Star Wars and Lucasfilm has ever come out with. And I feel like there's no reason that we can't do something for the sequel trilogy in that same way. And I think that this movie that Adam Driver had going could have been the Clone Wars, as that movie was what the Clone Wars did for the prequel trilogy. I think The Hunt for Ben Solo could have done that for the sequel trilogy and those characters 100%.
Yeah, I don't know what the next move is from here. I don't know if the conversation's just gonna fizzle out and then we're not gonna hear anything, but it all seems too strategic. And like Adam
Mm-hmm.
Driver, it's one thing to just reference something in an interview like, yeah, I had some ideas, but blah 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 that never really panned out, and like
Yeah.
really keep it vague and all this stuff. But for him to put other people's names into this interview and say, yeah, me and Steven Soderbergh over here were writing this for about 2 years, and then we brought it to Lucasfilm and named specific people to make sure they all got their credit. Yeah, they
Yeah.
liked it. And then he goes and says, well, they went to Disney, specifically Bob Iger and somebody else whose name I'm forgetting, and they said no. Like, why would you throw all those specific names in
And
there knowing
actually,
controversy might get caused?
yeah, and actually, maybe this is something that he recently pitched, because now that I think about it, Dave Filoni was only recently appointed as one of the, big dogs in Lucasfilm. So maybe this was
Mm-hmm.
a recent thing that he pitched, and maybe he's absolutely right. Like, it didn't happen, now I can talk about it. Maybe this was more recent than we thought. You know
I
what
mean,
I
maybe.
mean?
I think Dave got promoted, I'm going to say 2 years ago, but it might not even
Mm-hmm.
be a full 2 years ago. It might have been last
Mm-hmm.
year. I don't remember specifically, but I don't know. You can't go back and save some of the stuff with the original trilogy characters. We're not going to see Luke and Han and Leia. Like, that's just. I mean, obviously, we could see, like, a younger Han and a younger Luke, but we're never going to see those three characters in their original actors on screen. Like, it's just not going to happen. Some
No.
ships have sailed. Luckily, with Ahsoka, we've gotten, Hayden back. We've gotten more Ahsoka now in live action. Hopefully, we see Ewan again. Like, we still have some hope to see more prequels characters. But then we jump to these sequel characters, and there's so much more that we can do with these characters. And
Yeah.
I'm saying that to go, a lot of people, when they talk about Star Wars and their problems with Star Wars, they just go on to say something like, we just need to move away from the Skywalkers and all the characters
Mm-hmm.
and start something completely new. I don't necessarily agree or disagree. You could start something new, but let's not act like there's not some meat
Yeah,
on
I
the bone
don't think
here.
we need to necessarily run away from these characters that we have and that have so much more to give us. And maybe Dave Filoni was like, "Hey, Adam, you should absolutely see
I mean, if
whatever you want to
anything,
do. See what the fandom feels about this. That might be a good idea." And one thing we got to mention is, guys, Kathleen Kennedy is not always the enemy. And perhaps she's not the enemy at all. Maybe she's not the problem. A lot of
yeah.
people always want to blame the person in charge of Lucasfilm for the issues that they have, but that I think a lot of people forget, Lucasfilm has to answer to another head person at Disney. Kathleen Kennedy, and I'm not saying she's never made a mistake, and I'm not saying
Right.
she's not responsible when a project fails at Lucasfilm. I think many people are responsible when a project fails, but she is always the person that people want to throw their tomatoes at. And I don't think that that's always the case. I don't think that
I,
that's always the case. I don't think that should be the thing that always happens.
that has been a discussion over the last 48 hours. We're filming this on Wednesday, so the last 48 hours that since
Mm-hmm.
this news came out. And like Adam Driver's a person who can come out and say some stuff and get away with it, type of thing. Obviously, people have speculated like, oh, he might have broke some NDA talking about this, but we don't know that. That's just speculation.
I mean, he literally said he is able to talk about it now, so I highly doubt he's breaking anything.
Yeah, but the whole Kathleen Kennedy thing, like, yeah, she has caught a lot of heat over the years. But over the last 48 hours, people have started to reconsider, and there's been some other rumors out there, and I'm not going to get into any of them because they're all rumors. At least from this, we have Adam Driver specifically
Yeah,
talking
Adam
about it.
Driver
So
himself said that. Yeah.
this is way more like confirmed, happened type of thing. But there's been
Mm-hmm.
a lot of more rumors over the last 48 hours of stuff that KK wanted to do and Bob Iger said no to. And that includes stuff in the sequel trilogy, and you just can't help but go, oh my goodness, the villain was the hero the whole time?
Yeah.
Maybe? Like, let's
That's
just
so
be
true.
honest, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
and I'm not saying that she hasn't made mistakes, because she
right.
obviously has.
Right. Mm-hmm.
She's not completely washed her hands clean. And at the end of the day, it's all just rumor and speculation. But there's a really big but now, and you can't help but go back years ago and wonder, you know, George picked KK for a reason to be in charge of Lucasfilm. There had to be a reason there, and there's got to be a reason why there's disconnect between KK and Bob Iger, and we'll probably never know unless somebody does a tell-all when they're on their deathbed years from now. But there's a lot of talk this week that makes you think about the last 10 years of Star Wars.
Yeah, and this is the first time, like you said, this is the first time that we have, without a shadow of a doubt, someone saying direct quotes, this was something Lucasfilm wanted to do and Disney said no. And I'm positive this is not the first time that it's happened, but I think it's the first time that we have clear-cut evidence that this happened. Like, we know for a fact that this happened. There's no way this is the only time that this has happened. I mean, can you imagine what if The Acolyte, which we both do not like at all whatsoever, it was honestly, it's very unwatchable in my opinion. It's a it's a mess. It's one of the most fumbled projects in Star Wars, honestly. What if they had a really good script going for The Acolyte, and by the time it went through the ringer at Disney, that's what we ended up with? You know what I mean?
Listen.
Now you start to rethink a lot of things, you know?
And again, not to get into completely rumor mill, dragging people's name through the mud who we'll never meet in our lives, but somebody had brung up recently in a podcast I was listening to, and they were like, they were talking about Bob Iger and how he's always, or at least has over the last couple of years, talked about Marvel and Marvel's up and downs and Marvel's failures, for lack of a better term. But somebody pointed out, you know, he's never talking about Star Wars for some reason. He never talks about Star Wars or Lucasfilm or Kathleen Kennedy. And over the last 48 hours, people couldn't help but think about that and go, maybe the reason he never talks about Kathleen Kennedy is because he's actually the villain, and if he pisses off KK, she might be like, screw all. At least when she retires, which has been rumored for a couple years, but it's probably going to be this year, next year. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I just really, really hope The Mandalorian and Grogu is a win. I really hope it's a win for Dave Filoni, for Jon Favreau, for Kathleen Kennedy. I hope that it is amazing. Or I don't know what we do at that point. If that movie flops, I have no idea what we're gonna do. But
I got some thoughts, but that's diving into more unconfirmed rumors, and I don't want to go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, no. We'll keep it positive as surrounding The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, super positive. If anything, I'm more excited and want to talk about Star Wars more this week than I have in a while.
Right?
And maybe that's a bad reason. But not necessarily because we're talking about a positive in this Ben Solo movie, and I don't know.
I feel like it's because we don't really feel, us as a fan base, I don't know, I obviously can't speak for everyone. I mean, just for me, a lot of the time it doesn't feel like anything is the wheels, like, it doesn't feel like the wheels are turning at Lucasfilm. It doesn't always feel like we're going to get something that blows us away the way that previous projects have. Obviously, that's not the case. I know that they have Darth Maul series coming out next year. We got The Mandalorian Grogu coming out, which hopefully is amazing. But sometimes I am like, but is this all we have of these Disney Plus series?
Yeah.
And that's it, you know, Star Wars animation carrying the brand, honestly. Is that all that we're going to get? And then now we see that things do happen, and they are happening at Lucasfilm. They just don't always make it past Disney.
You're right. Star Wars can feel pretty stagnant, especially when you compare it to Marvel, which, you know, win or lose on a project, Marvel's constantly moving. Shows are coming out. Animated shows are coming out.
Not always a great thing.
They're going to have something. Yeah, but there's at least something to talk about. There's movies coming out. We're building towards some huge movies next year. Star Wars hasn't had a movie in theaters in 6 years, guys.
Right.
Like, there's a reason that the brand, for diehards, just feels stagnant. You know? Like, I don't know how to put it, so.
And I just want to say this before we move on. The 5 minutes that we got of Adam Driver playing Ben Solo is arguably the best 5 minutes in the sequel trilogy. Let me just say that for
Well,
right
he didn't
now.
even say he didn't even have a line.
He didn't even say anything. The way that he portrayed Ben Solo after he turned away from being Kylo Ren and when he was Ben Solo for the last 5 to 10 minutes of The Rise of Skywalker was quite possibly the best thing that came out of the sequel trilogy. Obviously, there were a lot of great moments in The Force Awakens, but just in that movie alone, the only reason I would go back and rewatch The Rise of Skywalker is to see that last 10 minutes of Adam Driver playing Ben Solo. It was so good. And he just so much, there's so much about him wielding the lightsaber against the Knights of Ren, and just there's so much more we could have done with that character. And it hurts my heart, but I also love that Adam Driver loved playing that character so much that he came up and spent 2 years of his life working on this script.
Dude.
And we could have gotten it, and we didn't.
Bro left that Rise of Skywalker premiere like, screw this, I'm taking the wheels, and started writing on the plane back home.
He's like, you know what? I can write it better than that.
That's awesome, dude.
I know.
You love when an actor loves the characters they play. It just makes everything better. It's like Hayden with Anakin. You know they love it. You know they'll play it till the end of time.
Yep.
So let's just do it, man.
Let's just do it. Why aren't we doing this? Right? We love you, Adam Driver. Thank you for telling us that. Thanks for that.
Not a big fan of your movies, but it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Anyway, shall we move on?
It's Noah's fault. Yeah.
What? Okay.
Oh, did you mean the sequel trilogy movies? I thought you meant just movies that Adam Driver is in that you just don't like them.
Oh, I literally haven't seen anything else he's in besides.
And that's why I said it's your fault.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean. Yes, we can move on.
Still kind of lost there, but anyways.
He's confused. We lost him. That's
talking to a co-host that is always confused.
He's always confused and lost.
Yeah, talking about you. Anyway.
Okay.
We're gonna move on to a full Star Wars episode, like we said. So, what's the best way to do this? So, let me set the stage. About 2 weeks ago, it was Empire magazine, I believe. Let me double check that. Yeah, Empire posted an article online. The 50 greatest Star Wars characters of all time. Now, here's the thing about this list. It's not the names that are on the list. 50 is a lot of characters when you think about it.
Right.
But
every single one of them is freaking is wrong.
Order...
all of them are wrong.
is insane, dude. Right off the bat, it's insane with 50 and 49. It's right off the bat, it's insane. And I know this is like 2-week-old news by now, but we had to talk about this. If you don't know what we're talking about, just go look up the article. You'll find it. But how should we do this? Should we just run down this entire list and then backtrack?
I don't know. Like, there's so many. Okay, I have it pulled up now. There's so many.
There's actually a couple of names on here that I'm going to assume are from The Acolyte or Andor, and I don't know who they are. It's literally just like 2 or 3 of them. I don't know.
I will tell you.
But I'll just run them down. Let me just run them all down, and then we'll backtrack, because I don't want to. We might spend 5 minutes just on this initial top 10. So number 50, Asajj Ventress. 49, Neil. 48, K2SO. 47, Haldo. 46, Admiral Akbar. 45, Babu Frick. Jesus. 44, Captain Rex.
And that's where I'm pissed off. Immediately I'm pissed off, right?
And if she wasn't pissed off then, wait till we get to 43, because it's Kanan Jarrus at 43.
Pissed off.
42, we have Thrawn. 41, Grievous. 40, Rose Tico. 39.
I'm livid at this point. Okay.
39, Moff Gideon. 38, Ezra Bridger. 37, Baylan Skoll. 36, Mace Windu. 35, the cereal guy from Andor. 34, he was 35, excuse me. 34, Qui-Gon Jinn. Insane. 33, Soul, with who I believe is from Acolyte. 32, is this an Acolyte character? Kino Lu?
Andor. I'm pretty sure that's the guy from Andor in the prison sequence. That's the guy that
No Way Out guy, or
yes.
I Can't Swim guy? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I forget the actor's name because I'm an idiot. God. But you know what I'm talking about. He can't swim. Yeah.
Yeah. 31 Chopper. 30 Deidre. Don't know who she is.
Unbelievable.
29 Andor, and that's why. 29, The Stranger. 28,
Accolade.
Padme. 27, Tarkin. 26, Boba Fett. 25, Jabba the Hutt. 24, Finn. 23, C-3PO. 22, Poe Dameron. 21, Mon Mothma, excuse me. 20, Darth Maul. 19, BB-8. 18,
what are we doing?
Ahsoka
What are
Tano.
we doing?
17, Lando Calrissian. 16, Din Djarin. 15, Palpatine. 14, Grogu. 13, Anakin Skywalker. 12, R2-D2. 11, Cassian Andor.
Glazing.
10, Rey. 9, Chewbacca. 8, Obi-Wan Kenobi. 7, Kylo Ren. 6, Luthen from Andor.
The Andor glaze is getting to a point where it makes me mad. Anyways,
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. And then your top 5: Yoda, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and Han Solo at number 1.
If they had finished this list with Darth Vader at number 1, then at least I would have been like, okay, at least they know who the best Star Wars character ever is. But they don't.
There's nothing redeemable about this list.
No, absolutely nothing. And let me backtracking because the Andor crowd is going to get
50.
hang on. The Andor crowd's going to get so mad at me. I'm not mad at people who like Andor. I'm not mad that Andor was a great project. Of course it was. It's widely loved, and it was a great thing for Star Wars that Andor was widely praised. To say that Luthen and Cassian Andor are top. Cassian's at 11, but they're almost both top 10 Star Wars characters is insane to say. That's insane to say. Cassian Andor is not a top 10 Star Wars character, and neither is Luthen. There's no way that you can love Andor so much that you are blinded to the fact that there are still other Star Wars characters that are way better than Cassian Andor and Luthen. I have heard people even say about Andor, because Noah and I, here we go, Noah and I do not love the Andor series. It's not for us, but we love that the Andor series was successful, and I love that people love it. That's great. Great for the brand. Cassian Andor is not a compelling character to me, and I have heard people that love Andor also say that Cassian Andor isn't even the best character in that series. And here we have him, Empire Magazine, at number 11 on the top 50 Star Wars characters of all time. You're psychopaths.
Dude, you know what I just thought about too? I'm looking at this list, and unless I am mistaken here, Cassian Andor comes from Rogue One. Jyn Erso's not even on this list, and I think she should at least be in the top 50 if we're comparing her to some of the other names in here.
Yeah. This blows my mind, though. It's blowing my mind. The top 5 are the best part. They could have been interchangeable. If they said Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader or even Yoda was their number 1, whatever, because Yoda is a very, 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 very iconic character in Star Wars.
And so is Han Solo.
Right, and I get that. However, if we're talking about of those 5, I wouldn't put Han Solo above any of them. I don't think.
Han is top 10, but I don't think he's top 5.
I don't know.
Listen.
We're not going to obviously rearrange this list, and we're not going to give you our top 50, but
I'll tell you, top 5 for me, and they put Anakin and Vader on here, which is fine. I think if we're talking about just 50 different characters, you should differentiate them. But if I had to put one in the top 5, so I'm not going to put both and be a glazer of Anakin, even though I am, Darth Vader would obviously make that list. Not putting these in any order. It'd be Vader, it'd be Luke, it'd be Obi-Wan.
Yep, Obi-Wan, that was at number 8, okay? Behind Luthen. You're insane. You're insane at this point. Yeah.
I'm putting Palpatine in the top 5. I can hear it. And listen, I can hear an argument for Han, Leia, Yoda, and Anakin being that 5th spot in the top 5. But bro, Luthen clearing 53 other people, 54 other people? What is this?
No.
Who is this guy? He's an Andor. You should watch the show. It's a great show. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not watching it. I'd watched the first 3 episodes when it came out. I dozed off, and I have kept my feelings to myself. And I'm not going to sit here and rip a show apart that I haven't even seen.
Because it's not that we have a problem with the show. We just don't enjoy it. Like, it's just not fun for us to watch. And here we go again. All the Batman people are going to get mad at me again. Just because you say Batman is good doesn't mean I have to watch it or like it. Just because you guys love Andor doesn't mean I have to love it. And we have been called illiterate media. We have been told that we don't have media literacy, and that is why we don't enjoy Andor. How can you even say that we don't have the media literacy when we just don't even watch it? That's insane. Like, what are you talking about?
Going back on this list a little bit, right? The Stranger from Acolyte, which I've seen a lot of people love the Stranger. They love his helmet. In my opinion, not a fan of the helmet. I think it's kind of silly. But for the Stranger to be a 29, and then you go back to the previous page of at least what I'm looking at here, and he's in front. He's ahead of Qui-Gon, of Mace Windu, of even Baylan Skoll, who had an incredible performance in Ahsoka Season 1. He's over Ezra, Moff, Grievous, Thrawn, Kanan, Rex. Like, what are we doing here? Who booked this, dude?
Yeah. No.
If this is 1998, I'm literally D-Generation X sitting in the Monday Night Raw locker room with a sign that said, "Who booked this crap?" Because this is a load of crap, dude.
Yeah. No. It doesn't make any sense at all. Empire Magazine, and I think I read at the bottom of the article that everyone at Empire, or at least all of their writers, got together to make this list. Wow, never make a list again. Take away your list privileges. Never write about Star Wars again. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen, honestly.
I'll get so heated to knock my headphones off. Dude, even 50 and 49 is bullshit.
Yeah.
Asajj as 50 and Neil at 49?
You're insane to put Neil even on this list, you guys.
I watched a little bit of Skeleton Crew. It was fine. I'm indifferent. I don't care. But the Neil craze when Skeleton Crew came out was ridiculous, bro. Another cute character that's gonna be slapped on all the merch, and now because of that little bit of that 15 minutes of fame they gave this character, he's 49 over Asajj freaking Ventress, dude. Yeah. What is this?
And now that I think about it, I think that this is rage bait from Empire Magazine, because what else could it be? You guys better come out and say, "Just kidding, this is rage bait," because wow, it's so bad. Dude. Wow. It has to be rage bait. Can we just talk about characters that shouldn't even be on this list? Neil, Admiral Holdo from The Last Jedi with the pink hair. I know you didn't even remember who that was. Babu Freak should not be on here. Admiral Akbar is pretty arguable too.
Hold on, time out. You're so right. I didn't even remember who that was, the pink hair lady. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys a hilarious story. So not a Last Jedi fan. Neither is my dad, who was a diehard Black Series collector from the beginning up until like a couple years ago, and he fell out of it. He was getting everything, all the Black Series. You know what? One figure from The Last Jedi he left on the shelf and let rot in dust for years. And I think he eventually bought it on a discount, but it was 2 years later. Holdo. Yep. That's the only reason I remember who that character is.
And it's going to get worse. Here we go. Rose Tico is on this list and should not be on this list. And let me just say, for the record,
feel bad
our
for the boy.
dislike for the characters has nothing to do with the actors or actresses that portray them.
100%.
Rose Tico is a horrible character, a horribly written character, and should never, ever be included in a top 50 Star Wars characters list.
You're spitting.
Moving on. Cyril. No. Top 50, you guys. Top 50?
That's what I dipped out of Andor Season 1, bro.
Yeah, listen.
When I saw this guy eating cereal, and his name is literally Cyril, I was like, I'm done with this show. No, I couldn't. I can't.
That's where he drew the line.
That's where I drew the line, dude. This guy's over Mace Windu, dude?
Yeah.
Like, Mace Windu
over Ezra Bridger, over Kanan Jarrus. Kanan Jarrus, Captain Rex, at 43 and 40... Hang on, 43 and 44 is insane. You're shiting me at this point. Like,
dude, how many people have can me and you ask their top 3 favorite Jedi, and people are gonna say Kanan Jarrus? How many? A lot.
Right. And
43? I know nobody at Empire's ever watched Rebels. No, I know for a fact.
And let me say something else. Kino Loy comes in at 32 over everyone that we just said. Captain Rex, Kanan Jarrus, Asajj Ventress, Ezra Bridger, Mace Windu, Qui-Gon Jinn.
I'm looking up who that even is.
Kino Loy's in one
Andy
episode
Serkis,
of Andor. One episode of Andor. And they think that he comes in as a better Star Wars character than all of those characters that we just talked about. Never write about Star Wars again. That's what I'm talking about when I say Andor Glaze is getting insane. That specifically is what I'm talking about. Wow, how can you say that? And then Chopper's in there above all of those characters, which is ridiculous. I love Chopper. I'm a Rebels girl. He's on my shirt. Chopper shouldn't. No droid should come in over Qui-Gon Jinn and Mace Windu and Kanan Jarrus. No, like I understand that people like R2D2, but
I'll give you R2 and C-3PO for the top 20.
Right. Yeah. And C-3PO is at 23, above Padme, above Qui-Gon, above Mace Windu, above Padme is below Admiral Tarkin and C-3PO and BB-8. BB-8's at 19.
Is wild, dude.
19. Wow.
Dude, the disrespect.
Holy crap. BB-8 at 19.
Ahsoka at 18 is like, she'd definitely, in my opinion, be top 15. Probably if I was to put this list, redo this list.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Clone Wars, honestly, Rebels, and now we're getting live action. Look at the back catalog this woman has.
If we're talking about our personal, Ahsoka's in my top 5. If we're talking unbiased, she's in the top 10. And that unbiased, she's in the top 10. This is blowing my mind. BB-8 at 19 is honestly the worst thing I've ever seen.
Dude, listen, and we just spent a half hour talking about Kylo Ren and how he was a good character in the sequels, mistreated. We want more of him, all this stuff.
But at number 7
even Adam Driver will tell you Kylo Ren
is not a top 10 Star Wars
character. All the characters that he's above is ridiculous.
Insane. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. This list is the most chopped thing I've ever seen in my life, honestly.
Grogu at 14 over Palpatine is ridiculous.
Another example of Andor Glaze. You put Cassian Andor over Anakin Skywalker.
That's so ridiculous, dude.
Why are you... It can be a great show without you lying about the main character, you guys. Come on. Cassian Andor is not a more compelling character than the majority of the characters on that list. You're killing me.
That's taking my bias out of it, too. I just told you earlier, like, if I was to redo the top 5, I'm putting Vader in there over Anakin. But Anakin's my number 1 favorite of all time. So I'm taking my favoritism and bias out. And this is still a load of crap. Still a load of crap.
I can't even look at it anymore. It's just unbelievable. And I'm not even mad. I'm mad that you guys even thought that you should make that list. And then you're like, that's great. Book it and write it. I feel like someone... When they were proofing that, someone was like, oh yeah, everyone's going to talk about this.
It gets more insane as it goes along. Don't get me wrong.
But it worked.
Just the top 15 alone pisses me off, dude.
And those are the kind of media outlets are going to be telling you, yeah, you should go see this movie. You shouldn't go see this movie. This movie bombed. You don't know anything. You don't know. You have no idea what you're talking about. Okay.
Don't let me find an Empire article where they told people to not go see Superman or Fantastic Four or something, because I swear I'll go on this podcast next week and blow a gasket.
I'm gonna look it up.
I just, not to keep, we'll get off this in a second, but I just, like, Rose Tico over Captain Rex, bro? Captain Rex. That guy who's on your shelf back there. I'm wearing everywhere. A 501st shirt right now, everywhere. Bro.
Look, I have him right here. Audio only, I have my little Rex.
His Black Series is somewhere buried on the shelf right there. I guess Pop's right there. Him and Pong, whatever, dude. I'm done with this article. This article's a load of crap. Empire, you can lick my nuts. Anyway.
Okay, wow. wow. Okay.
I let a little personality out. Anyway. Well, we're going to wrap up this week's episode with a couple of Discord questions this week.
Yeah, join the Discord if you haven't.
Yeah, if you're listening here on YouTube, it's linked in the description box. If you're, or I should say if you're watching here on YouTube. If you're listening on Apple and Spotify, just head over to our Instagram or something like that. You'll find the invite link, and you can join our Discord and ask us some weekly questions. So this week, and not to say we have to stick strictly to Star Wars, so there was some other stuff from last week we didn't answer.
Mhm.
But we always pick just a couple of random ones. But I asked earlier today for Star Wars specific questions, so I'll at least pick one of those to start. And then we can go from there if you want to pick one after that.
Okay.
All right, let me find something here.
Who's one Star Wars character you want to see in real life, and who would you cast for the
first.
role? That's a
first.
fire one, Taylor. I go first. That's a fire one. Oh my gosh.
Wait. Can you redo the question? I was just baffled
Yeah.
with the fact that I said I would start and then you would start.
No, I want to start. Who is one Star Wars character you want to see in real life, and who would you cast for the role? Oh my gosh.
In real life, meaning so like an animated character that we haven't seen live action?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow.
Kanan, but not as Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, not at this point. He's a little bit too. He could have definitely played Kanan at some point. Actually, I would want it to be Freddie Prinze Jr.
How old is Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Him. But a part of me feels like Kanan just doesn't need to be done in live action because he has a perfect story arc. We talk about this with our friend Grayson, who loves Kanan more than anything. And Kanan just does not need to be. We don't need to bring him back to life. We don't need to do anything with Kanan. He has a perfect story arc. We're done with that.
No, but if they were to do like a little good flashback or something, a meaningful one that made sense,
they have like Hera
he's 49,
has a picture.
By the way.
Yeah, and he's great. We love Freddie Prinze Jr. But Hera in the Ahsoka series has a picture of Kanan on her little dash
it's Freddie Prinze.
in the Ghost, and it is Freddie Prinze Jr. Yeah. So and it looks good. But
but they can get away with it because it's the picture this big and you gotta zoom in to see it. But I don't know. Maybe.
You're gonna make me forget. Okay, my person is Senator Chuchi from the Clone Wars, and she's in the Bad Batch. I love Senator Chuchi so much. I think she's amazing. Let me think. Who would I want to? I don't know who I would want to play her though.
Yeah, I'm not good with actors, guys, but I can definitely give you characters all day
I'm
long.
not great with fan casts either, but Senator Chuchi is definitely someone I would love to see in live action. She's a Pantoran, and I think it would be so cool to see her in live action. 100%. She's a great character, and I think you could do so much more with her character. Another person I do want to see in live action is Omega. I don't know who would play a female version of Tamara Morrison, but I want to see Omega in the Ahsoka Season 2, because she literally, at the end, Bad Batch spoilers, okay? Here it comes.
Show's been out for a year and a half.
Here it comes. Just so you guys know, because a lot of people haven't seen Bad Batch yet, but here we go. In the end credit scene of the Bad Batch in the final season, Omega leaves to go be a pilot in the Republic. So, I would love to see her again in live action in Ahsoka Season 2. Her and Hera know each other. They have a past together. It would be so cool to see them as pilots in the Resistance at that point. Can you imagine?
That'd be pretty cool.
It'd be so cool. Full circle. So I'd
be down for like a live action Omega cameo that eventually we get more of in a movie that I'm daydreaming about, but we'll see if it happens one day.
So I think mine would be Senator Chuchi. I have no idea. I'm sorry, Taylor. I have no idea what actress would play her. Maybe you guys can let me know who you would think would be a great actress to play Senator Chuchi, but I love her. All right, your turn.
Okay, I gotta pick one, dude. I didn't what's the word? Preference these beforehand. My bad. Who's your favorite Star Wars character of all time? Already answered that. It's Anakin. Favorite movie is Revenge of the Sith.
You didn't say who you want to play in live action. Were you just going with Omega? Were you just piggybacking off of my answer?
Well, I said the Kanan idea, and I do feel like that would be cool, but only like a flashback or something like that.
Okay.
Like, no, don't resurrect him for some dumb reason.
Right.
And completely ruin his send-off in Rebels. Don't do that.
My favorite Star Wars character is also Anakin, but like I always change my answer between Anakin and Rex. So there's that.
Rex, dude, I forgot I have him right here, dude.
He's right there.
Case.
I love him.
All right, I'm just gonna pick something else. It's not a dead set Star Wars question. What are some of y'all's...
it's Rex, actually. Sorry, my favorite is definitely Rex. It's definitely Rex.
Okay. Sam asked, what are some of y'all's dream guests for when y'all blow up? Actors, directors, other podcasters, personal idols, etc. Frank from the Basement Yard.
I don't know.
It'd be legendary, dude.
I can't even imagine.
Frank,
Uh,
we'll come to you. We'll go to the studio. We'll come to you and film it, please.
I think it would be really cool, but I don't even know if he would want to talk to us at all. I think John Bernthal would be great. He has his own
Holy shit.
podcast, so he's no stranger to podcasts, but I think we would just have so much fun with him. I think that would be super cool.
I'd be shaking in my boots. I'd
Yeah.
be so nervous. I'd be
Yeah.
like, so what's it like being like a badass dude?
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I just don't know who I would be able to interview, and I don't know if I would have good questions for them. And
I know.
I don't know
I'm
because we've
trying to
never
like think
done
of
it before.
somebody in between, not super popular, but not
Hmm.
like a
Hmm.
nobody. Like I don't know.
You
Uh,
know, if we're talking just like other creators, I think it would be so fun to have our friend Willow the Force on when we talk about maybe Batman in the future. I'm sure he would love that.
uh,
Somebody's got to get us through the Batman times. Gosh,
we'll
I'm
just let
trying
him
to think.
take over for that whole episode. Be
Yeah,
like, you
he can
talk.
just take over. It'll just be a Will
I'm
of the
just gonna
Force
listen.
episode.
Teach me about Batman lore.
Yeah, I think that would be so fun.
Open invite.
I think Luke's lightsabers slash hang on. I think Luke's lightsabers slash Luke's outpost, he just rebranded, would be super fun to have on because he
Mm-hmm.
loves Ahsoka. So I feel like going into Ahsoka season 2, that would be super fun. Oh my gosh, I don't know. We've said multiple times that we're big fans of the Escape Pod podcast. It would be fun to have either of them on. I we have not reached out to any of these people, and we will not be reaching out to any of these people. We are not ready for something like that.
I mean, we'll reach out to Will, but that's different.
Yeah, yeah.
That's different.
Will might be listening to this right now. We don't know.
Yeah.
But if
Our
we
listeners know
go,
him from the Discord as well.
yeah, yeah, you guys have interacted with Will too. If we're talking about big actors, actresses, celebrities, whatever, a lot of people hate when I talk about Chris Pratt, but I think it would be so cool to have Chris Pratt. There's so many things we could talk to him about. He's done so much. He's been in Marvel. He's done voice acting. He's done so much. He's been in TV. And he's just such an experienced actor, and he is well regarded among his peers and everything. I think it would be so much fun to interview him.
I don't know. I feel like I would want somebody who I have like multiple things in common with. I'm trying to think of
Mm-hmm.
wrestlers who I know like Star Wars and Marvel
Mm-hmm.
and stuff.
Right.
Zack
Uh,
Ryder, I would love to have you on the podcast. Matt Cardona, come on the
that
podcast,
would be so
dude.
fun. Oh my gosh.
Technically,
Yeah.
I have a connection, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that would work.
Okay. Wait, so there are a couple of athletes that also talk about how much they like Star Wars. I think you do not know who this is. Austin Wells is the catcher for the New York Yankees. He wears Clone Wars shirts like going into his games. The Yankees will post him wearing Clone Wars shirts and stuff. That'd be so sick. Another one, Imanis Fondi, I think would be so cool to have on the podcast.
Dude, he liked my TikTok like 2 weeks ago.
See,
Because you tagged him in it.
I tagged him and I was like, you gotta look at this. As
Oh
if he
my
knows
God.
me. He doesn't. I just know that he's chronically online, and we love that because he's so
Yeah.
interactive with the fan base online.
There's nothing better than seeing the most random Instagram reel in the world, and then you look at the bottom and it says
And
he
Imanis
liked
Fondi
it.
has liked it.
It's like this has nothing to do with Star Wars,
No.
Ezra, nothing. But he's
like
just
so
online.
much. He's great. And if you don't know, Imanis Fondi portrays the live action Ezra in Ahsoka, the Ahsoka series. He is so great, so perfect for Ezra. I think we would have so much fun talking to him. I don't know. Do you have anybody else?
Not that I could think of. Speaking of the escape pod, though, Carter asked the most random question in the world a couple of days ago. It said, "If you ever got invited on the escape pod podcast together, what would you wear?" I think Hat Guy was shirtless in an episode recently, so I would just be shirtless as well. That's what I would
Oh
do.
my gosh, please, of course. What would we wear? That
I
is
was like,
such.
that's the most random Carter. That's
It's
the
an
most
off
random
the wall
question.
question. I love that though. I love questions like that. What would I wear? I would definitely wear one of my Interscope t-shirts because I'm very proud of those. I would probably.
Or we all
either-
go cosplay.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
But you'll be the one of the good cosplay, and we'll be in like Halloween, Spirit Halloween
Yeah.
cheap out.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a good cosplay yet. I'm working on it, but I don't have one good enough yet that I would like to wear. I think I would want to wear, gosh, which Interscope? It's got to be one of the big cool graphic tees that I have, the Marvel ones. It would be an X-Men one for sure. It'd be so fire. I have a shirt that has the comic cover of Rogue and Gambit together, like you know, the really, really
yeah, I have the
popular
same one. I think they're
Yeah.
about to start making out in the shirt.
Yeah.
I only wear it around the
love
house. I
that
can't wear
shirt.
that
Oh
out
my
of the
gosh.
house.
I would wear something like that. Yeah. You gotta match the vibe. Gotta
Gotta
match
match
the
the vibe.
vibe.
Gotta match the
hmm
vibe. I'll just scroll real quick to see if there's anything from previous weeks that we missed
Trevor
here. Let's get one more or one or two good questions in.
Trevor asked what ship we would fly in Star Wars. My favorite would be the N1 Starfighter. I've always loved the look of the N1 Starfighters from Naboo. So sick. One of my favorite episodes is when we get the montage of Mando building and refurbishing that N1 Starfighter in Book of Boba Fett. Wow. But also, I love the Bad Batch's ship, which is an modified Omicron class attack shuttle. It's so sick.
Oh, slow down here. Big words.
Noah's like,
I don't even know
that
what you
one
just said.
ship from this one show.
Dude, unless we're talking about an X-Wing or a Naboo starfighter or something
Mhm.
real basic and real legendary, I don't know ships to save my life. So
What
I'm
would you
gonna
say?
go with classic X-Wing, dude. Classic
Okay.
X-Wing.
Okay. Why would Batman beat Iron Man in a fight? He wouldn't. Let me
No,
tell you
dude,
that right now.
I'm getting a
Why
little
does
over
Batman,
this.
by the way, why does Batman need prep time for every
Always
fight?
needs prep time.
Right?
Anytime
He
there's an
always
argument,
needs
it's
prep time.
well, Batman with prep time. I'm like, no
Why
prep
does he
time.
need prep time, Will? Why
Is he
does
not
he
able to
need that?
spring into action?
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Oh well, he's real smart. Well, so is Tony Stark. And guess what? He's got a million cool suits.
Yeah,
What's
there's no
Batman
way
got?
Batman is smarter than Tony Stark. No, you're wrong. You guys are just wrong, you Batman glazers. Get out of my face.
I don't know.
Oh
I'm
my
going,
gosh.
going with Iron Man on that one. Dude, he's gonna
Wait,
piece
this
him
one's
up.
good. This one's good. If Star Wars and Marvel had a 5v5 brawl, who would win? Star Wars team is Luke, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Kylo. And the Marvel team is Thor, Black Panther, Wolverine, Iron Man, and Wanda. Dude.
Bro, can you run down that Star Wars team one more?
Yeah,
run it back. I missed the whole thing.
The Star Wars team is Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, and Kylo Ren.
Okay.
The Marvel team is Thor, Black Panther, Wolverine, Iron Man, and the Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch already clears the Star Wars team, I feel like. She's very, very overpowered. When she is regarded as a mutant in the comics, she's an Omega level mutant. Honestly, I feel like the Marvel team clears. I don't know what the Star Wars, the Force users would do against someone like Wanda. You know?
maybe we're talking a different story if we had a completely a team of just like Sith, dark side users. Maybe they have. But I think they don't. I think they still lose. Honestly,
I think that I don't know.
I don't know. Like it's just, I'm going Marvel, dude.
No, listen, hang on. Let me make a case for our Star Wars people. We know that the Force users can block lightning, okay? So Thor is getting blocked. I know for
not forever, though.
Black Panther and Wolverine are getting beat by the Force users, 100%. Iron Man, I feel like you just use the Force, crush that tin can, he's done for. I think Wanda's the only one they'd have a problem with. I think she's the only one.
Listen, dude. I want to give Star Wars the victory a little bit too, but I'm just even like they would piece up Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Would they?
Yeah,
they well, here's what I'm saying. They might, but Wolverine, he kind of gets back up, and he gets back up real fast.
No, they would literally piece him up. They'd chop him up.
I don't know, dude. He might be claws, their lightsaber.
No, I don't think that a lightsaber can't cut through adamantium.
We don't have proof of this, so.
No, but I think a lightsaber cuts through adamantium. Come on.
Listen, I'm not leaning one way or towards the other.
Beskar?
Run that back. I didn't hear you.
Is adamantium the same as Beskar? What if Wolverine had Beskar bones instead of adamantium? Now we're making a case for Wolverine.
Then the Marvel, I think. And what's Black Panther got? His suit. No. He's got some kind of technology in his suit.
Yeah, he
Vibranium?
Frick. Vibranium, yes. He has a vibranium suit. I don't think vibranium beats a lightsaber. No.
I'm not saying it beats a lightsaber, but see,
I think
right, but I just feel like the Marvel team can take a little bit more of a fight.
Mm.
But then again, the lightsaber's an X factor.
If we take away Wanda, I think the Star Wars team wins. But with Wanda, I think Marvel wins.
Yeah, she just needs one good ult, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
50-50, but I'm going Marvel.
Yeah.
In this
I think so too.
traditional Survivor Series 505 Elimination Tag Team matchup. Wrestling reference. Anyway, guys, where can they find you?
You can find me at Laney Byers everywhere on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, and I think that's it. I think that's all I got. Yeah, that's where you can find me. I stream on Twitch as well at Laney Byers. I will be live this week a lot of the time. By the time you guys listen to this, it'll be Friday, and Noah and I will be at Halloween Horror Nights around 6 p.m. Eastern Time on that Friday. So that'll be fun, and we might do an IRL stream. We don't know.
Holy shit.
I'd be like, that'd be super fun.
Listen, I'm down. We gotta give you
your turn. I gotta go. Hurry.
Okay, you were the one talking. Go follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Noah Nation Vlogs, and go subscribe for on YouTube, Noah Nation Gaming. Lightforce Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Subscribe and like on YouTube, and just listen and
join the Discord.
And enjoy on Apple, Spotify, and join the Discord. That's it for episode 12. That's all we got. Next week, Horror Nights review and whatever the hell else we have to talk about. Greetings and salutations.